Hey, this is Passy from Passy's World of ICT, the guy with the white hat. And today we're going to take the web page mock-ups, the JPEGs that we made for our Indian restaurant in the previous lesson, and we're actually going to use Dreamweaver, the big DW, another Adobe application, to take those page designs that we made in Photoshop and make them into actual HTML web pages. All right, so in the previous lessons, we designed and made these pages in Photoshop. So we got our About page, our Booking page, Contact menu, Home and Gallery page. And in this lesson, we'll show you how to make the HTML web code for the pages using Adobe Dreamweaver so that we can run those pages inside a web browser. And that way we'll be getting closer to making a little demonstration website we could run in a browser and show to our client. So in the old days, we'd use this slicing function in Photoshop. You could slice your pages up and then generate HTML. But these days, it's far easier to use Adobe Dreamweaver and take our JPG images and just insert them as pictures onto the HTML pages. Now, they changed the Dreamweaver icon. It used to be this really nice green color, but Adobe's been changing everything. They made it this horrible, yuck, purple, pink color. That's the new one if you've got the latest Creative Cloud. You may have this green one if you've got an older version. That's fine. The green one should work exactly the same as the new purpley one as far as we can tell and what we've seen. So what we'll be able to do is see this is a web page now, our home page here for our Indian restaurant that we made in the previous lesson using Photoshop. That's now running inside Google Chrome here actually, and it's got homepage up here on the tab, and we see our homepage displayed. So that's the sort of step we're going to take with this lesson, turn the JPEG designs into actual HTML code that can run in a web browser. So remember, I'm a bit of a slow talker, so make sure you change the play speed of this video, go to the tools cog on the video, click on it, and go to playback speed and make it 1.5, 1.75, or even 2 times, and you'll probably find the video flows a lot better. Now, this is going to be one of the longer lessons, so make sure you take breaks and use the index timeline to stop and come back. So let's say this is not the timeline for this index, but if you go into the video description, there will be a timeline like this. So say you'd finished lesson 1 zoo photos and you need to take a break. Well, that's fine. You can just stop the video or even shut down your computer completely, come back another day, get back into the video. And you want to start now in lesson 2 beach photos. So all you have to do is click this 2626, click the blue number there, and it'll take you straight to that section in the video so that you can continue. All right, so the overview, what we need to do to turn those JPEG designs into actual HTML web pages is several steps. So step 1, we've got to set up our website folders just using normal MS Windows and File Explorer. Then once we've got the folders set up, we can define a new website in Dreamweaver and tell Dreamweaver where the folders are. Then we'll make the homepage HTML, our first page, and we can test that out in web browsers, Chrome and Edge. We'll check it out. And then we can get it centered on the browser screen, because when we first make it, it's going to be all pushed over to the left. So we can use some basic HTML code to get it in the center. And then we can have the home page that we've made, and we can actually clone off that. So all we have to do is File, Save As, save it as the About page, do some simple editing of the HTML, and then we've got our About page. So once you've made the home page, you're just a little File, Save As page making factory, and it'll be really easy from there on. So we just directly edit the HTML code to do that. So we're going to be able to create a set of HTML web pages from the set of JPEG mock-up designs we made. And we'll also show you how to use the Manage Sites function in Dreamweaver. If you're coming back into Dreamweaver, especially on a networked system at a school or a business, it may not remember your website. You might have to use Manage Sites to go back into it, okay, and set it up. So there's a number of downloads for this lesson. If you did not finish all of the restaurant JPEG page designs in the previous lessons, we'll then just get them from the download. So these are these mustard colored ones here, the red heading, Spice of Life Indian Restaurant. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those, and you can get those and use them for this lesson if you did not finish yours. Now these other ones in the downloads, the purpley blue ones, are for a challenge task where you're going to make a website for Photos by Passy, my little side hustle business. Or you can do this one, Los Ranchos Mexicano Restaurant. Mexican is our second favorite food, Indian's our first favorite. And yeah, this is just a simple little 3-page website where we've done the designs in Photoshop, and you can get them from these downloads, and then you can make HTML pages from them just to practice using Dreamweaver and the skills and steps we've learnt in this lesson. Excuse me. So let's get on to it. Step 1, making the Windows folders. So you just use normal Windows File Explorer and you make a new folder called Restaurant Website, then double click to go inside this folder. So I'm just going to make one called Restaurant Website. We've made it there. Then you double click and you go down inside it, so we're inside the folder, and we just make another folder called Page_Images, spelt exactly the same as it is here. So we've got this folder inside our main Restaurant Website folder. In that Page Images folder, you need to take all of the JPEGs from the download, or the ones you have from the previous lesson, and just copy them into there, just using normal Windows functions, no Adobe work required there. And there's details for making this in the step-by-step instructions. So as well as getting this PDF of the overview we're doing right now, in the downloads, if you go to the YouTube video description, you can find the downloads. And in the downloads, you'll get this step-by-step process as well. So in the step-by-step one, it's a little bit more detailed. And you can see it's telling you here, if you don't know how to make a new folder, all you do is just right click on the page and go new and folder, and then double click in there to change its name and change its name to Restaurant Website. Then you can double click that, make another new folder. So it goes into things in a bit more detail. So there's lots of pages there, which are more kind of like in a book or a Microsoft Word type format. If you want to read through that, you could just have a go at reading through that. And if you get stuck on anything, like let's say you were stuck on step 5, you could just go to the video and look up in the video index, step 5, get homepage centered, and go to the video and watch that section. So there's a lot of different ways of doing our lessons. You may prefer just to get detailed step by step, like reading a book, follow the instructions. If you get stuck, just go to the video timeline index and watch that section in the video to understand it. Alrighty, so let's do a live demo of making those Windows folders so that you know how to do it. Alright, so here we are in normal Windows File Explorer folders, the folders icon in Windows, and we've just made a folder here called L11 Demo. Let's go into that. Now we need to right click and go New Folder, and the new folder, remember the folder you're making where you're going to store your work is called Restaurant _Website, with website being in large uppercase letters. So we've got that set up, and we just click here to click off that. So I got our Restaurant Website. Now double click on that folder, and now we're actually down inside that Restaurant Website folder, and you can just, there are other ways too, like there's a new here, and you might have a new folder thing up the top. Whatever way you're used to doing it's okay. I just like to right click and go New Folder and do it this way. And this one needs to be Page_Images. Okay, so Page_Images. All right, now in that _Images folder, we need to go back here. Here are the downloads. So I'm just going to click on the About page and hold down the CTRL key. And I've still got my finger on the left-hand corner CTRL keyboard key. And I'm just going to click on all 6 pages that I need, right? So that they're highlighted in light blue there. So I just did that by holding down the CTRL key and clicking on them. Then I'm going to go right click and copy. All right, then I'm going back to that demo folder, Restaurant Website, Page Images folder, and I'm just going to right click and paste them all into there. So if I change my view up the top here into extra large icons, you can see now I've got those page images all in there. All right, so that's all there is to the Windows step. you need to find out where you're going to put your work. So I'm just putting mine here. I made a folder called Restaurant Website, double clicked on it. I made another folder called Page Images. Into that Page Images folder, I've just copied the 6 JPEG designs from the downloads. That is step 1 of 6 completed. All right, so step 2, we have to define the site in Dreamweaver. So we need to start up Adobe Dreamweaver and actually tell it about those Windows folders which we just made. So to start up Dreamweaver, it's just part of the Creative Cloud. It's the DW one. And so I think I've got that started already. So that's okay. So you start that up. Now, if it's the first time you've used it, it's asking you to say, oh, learn these tutorials and do this, just say you've already done it, skip through until you've sort of got to the front page of Dreamweaver, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to go Site and New Site, and we'll do this in the live demo shortly. Now, the Site, New Site will bring up this panel here. And on this panel, you've got 2 things to fill in. You've got your site name, so just write Indian Restaurant there. That's what we're going to call our website. And this is really important. The local site folder, don't let it just put it on some OneDrive folder or on some C drive where it's really hard to find it and things. We want to point Dreamweaver at those special folders we made that have got the images in them. So you need to click on this folder icon here. Lots of students forget to do that, and we'll show you in a little while with managed sites how you can fix it if you forget to. But site name Indian Restaurant, you type that in. Double click on this folder, then just navigate through to where you've got your restaurant website folder and single click on that so it's highlighted. Don't double click, just single click so it's highlighted in light blue, and then click the select folder button, all right? And that's what we do there. So there's more detailed instructions in that step-by-step PDF we were showing you. And if your site's not defined properly in Dreamweaver, or when you've come back another day and you've restarted Dreamweaver up, especially on a school or business network system, because they wipe out all of your sort of settings and profile stuff ready for the next person that logs on, if it's on a shared computer. So don't do that. So you'll need to use managed sites to fix that. Now, how managed sites works is you just go Site, Manage Sites, and what will happen is then you can pick your Indian restaurant website and go into it and click on the folders icon and get it right. If you forgot to click on the folders icon, what will happen is you'll see all of your documents, downloads, your desktop, everything on your whole device will be here mapped into Dreamweaver. So Dreamweaver is going to be trying to look at every single folder and thing on your device. It's going to run really slowly and it's going to be a real problem, all right? So you need to go back and fix that. If you're seeing documents, downloads, desktop, all these other folders there, you got to fix that and go into Site, Manage Sites. Then double click on the one that was set up as Indian Restaurant. Then it'll bring up that panel again and you can click on the folder and this time get it pointing at the right folder. And again, there's detailed instructions in the step-by-step instructions on how to do this. So let's show you the live demo now how we do this in Dreamweaver. All right, so we've got Dreamweaver working, set up here and running, and we've got this front page on it. And so we're going Site and New Site. All right, now I don't think we can call this Indian Restaurant because we've already done the website for the lesson, but let's just call it Indian Restaurant lesson, we're going to call it, just so it's not the same name. But you can call yours Indian Restaurant. We're just going to have to call it Indian Restaurant Lesson. Now, we don't want to putting it here in some unnamed folder or something. So you click on this folder icon, and remember ours was in L11 demo, and there our stuff is restaurant website pages. Now, don't go all the way into there, just click back, because you just want to single click on restaurant website so it's highlighted and select that folder. All right, so now it's going to point to that folder and we've got Indian Restaurant Lesson put in there and we just click Save down here. Now what you'll see happen is that in the right hand corner where your Files panel is, now if that's not showing, you need to use Window up the top. Go Window and make sure Files is clicked and that will make your Files panel show. And you can see it's got here Site Indian Restaurant Lesson, and if we click on this little arrowhead here, it's going to actually show us there's our 6 JPEG images we've got, all right? So we're only mapped to our website. We're not mapped to our whole computer. So if that's not working, you go back into Site, Manage Sites. Okay, so it was, hang on, let's just cancel that. Sorry, that was a bit fast. Site and Manage Sites. Okay, here's our Indian restaurant lesson. Just double click on that and it's taken us back in. See, if you've done this wrong and you've just put it to your C drive or something and save it, okay, it's going to go crazy for a start, trying to get all those folders in. So I might just stop that and I'll go back in again and pick something not so dramatic. So let's say you just put it into your documents or something and selected that folder. When you say done, what's going to happen here is, see how it's got all these extra folders and things and access databases? It's not the stuff we want, all right? So if yours, when you did site, new site, you messed it up and it came like that, you have to go Site, Manage Sites. And sometimes when you shut down Dreamweaver and log back on again, it won't be mapped properly either, but it's easy to fix. You go to Site, Manage Sites, double click on Indian Restaurant, click on this folder and just go to, now I'm going to have to navigate down, drill down through mine. Yours probably won't be this involved. Photoshop, what are we up to? Lesson 11, make web pages, the demo. That's my folder. So I single click on that. So it's highlighted. I select that folder, I go save, and I click the done button down here. And see, now we're good. We've just got the Indian restaurant and our 6-page thing. So we're right on that, and that is finished. All right, so that's steps 1 and 2 finished. Now we've been going 15 minutes. If you need to take a break, certainly just take a break and get yours set up with the folders and do the site definition in Dreamweaver so you're up to where we are. And then come back in the video and if you need to, use the video timeline index and find out where we're doing step 3 and just click on the time there and it should take you right to this point in the video. All right, so now we're ready to make a new HTML page. Now how you do that is you just go File, New Document, you want HTML, we're going to call it Home, so the title is Home. Don't put home page, just put home because this is going to come out on the actual tab in Google Chrome later on. And now for the document type, we're not using HTML5, we're going to be using HTML 4.01 transitional. So this will probably be on HTML5. Just click that little triangle head down arrow there and get it onto HTML 4.01 transitional, then click the create button. All right, what'll happen then is you'll have this untitled blank white page. Now, it'll also probably be split and have code down the bottom here in the bottom half. So I'll probably be in code viewing mode. So up the top of Dreamweaver, and you might have to click this little down arrow to get to it. You want to get to design view, okay? So click on design view. We want it so design goes blue and we're looking at design view and we're just seeing a big blank page. Now the little asterisk next to untitled means it's not saved yet. So we don't want to have our page called untitled. This is supposed to be the home page. So, you know, often with other things like Word or PowerPoint, you might be saving it after you've made it at the end. Here we save it at the start. It's kind of back to front. So we need to do File up here, click the file and do Save As, and we're saving it as Home, okay? It's called Home. And then our home page should appear in that top right-hand corner Files panel after we've done that, all right? So that's what we need to do. Save it straight away, be in design view and do File Save As, call it Home is its name, H-O-M-E. All right, now we can just insert the image of that design we made for our home page in the previous lesson. So we go Insert Image here, and then it should, no, because you've defined the site in Dreamweaver, it should just bring up these images here, and we want the home page one. So just single click on that so it's selected, and then click the OK. All right. It should be on image files, so you can see image files. So there's a down arrow here. If you're not seeing any images at all, you may need to click that down arrow and get it on images files, or put it on all files, so it shows all files, including the images ones. Click OK to get that home page. And what will happen is it'll come in really big, but you can use the Control and minus. So you hold down CTRL in the bottom left-hand corner and push minus, which is up the top near the backspace. And if you keep holding CTRL and click minus, that makes it smaller. And if you go too small, you can use Control, hold down Control and click the plus key. So you'd have to actually hold down Control and Shift to get to the plus key, which is above the equal sign on most laptops up towards the right-hand corner. All right, so that'll do that. So let's make that HTML page and show you a live demo of it. Okay, so here we are in Dreamweaver and we're just going File, New, and clicking on New. Then we want New Document. It's already on HTML, so that's good. So the document title is just going to be Home. This is the home page. Now it's in HTML5, so we need to click on that and get HTML 4.01 transitional. This is important because we want to be able to center our page later, and I don't think it works in HTML5. We have to use HTML 4.01 transitional for our type of HTML, and then we just go create, all right? And what that's going to do is you can see there's our blank page, and here is the code. So we're actually in split view at the moment where we can see the design and the code. Now we're not ready to do the code yet, so we need to click on Design tab to get in Design View. Now, if yours is in Live View like this, you'll need to hit this arrow key and just get it in Design View. We need to be in Design View. Now you can see up here it's not saved. It's got the little star sign next to Untitled 1. So we're going to go File and Save As. And we don't want it being called Untitled. So in here we're carefully going to type HOME and still have our .html on the end. So it needs to be an all documents type with .html, hypertext markup language, the language of internet code. All right, and then we just save it. Now it should come up here now as part of our file definition that we have this less than, greater than signs, this funny looking thing, which is the symbol for web page, and it has home. Sometimes there's a little circle arrow here to refresh, and you need to click that to make it actually appear. So if home HTML, which is up in the left-hand corner here, so it definitely saved okay. If it's not showing in your files panel, just click this round circle to refresh. All right, now we're ready to put in the picture of our home page, our design. So we go Insert Image, and we've come into our website because we've mapped it in Dreamweaver. Just click in, double click on Page Images. Now the one we need is Home, so just single click to get that highlighted and say OK. And you can see our home page has come in here, but it's really big. So if I hold down the CTRL key and press the minus key, that'll just make it a bit smaller so I can see it. Now, it doesn't look great quality in this preview, but it will look a lot better when it displays in the browser later on. All right, so that's that. And I think that's all we were doing. We're making that home page HTML, and I think the next step is to test it. All right, but let's go back to the presentation and see what we do next. All right, so the next step is to test the web page. All right, so we can test our HTML homepage in Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge and whatever other browsers you have. Now, testing it's a bit strange the first time you do it. You actually right-click on this tab, the tab name of the page up here in Dreamweaver, and then it'll bring up this menu, go to the bottom, open in browser, and we're just going to choose Google Chrome. All right, now at that stage, it's probably going to ask you to save changes. So if whenever you're testing and you right click and open in browser and it says save changes, always say yes to that. So you save your latest changes before you preview it and look at it in the browser. And what should happen is it should just come up in the browser. Now it might be too big, so we just hold down CTRL and use the minus key to make it smaller so it fits, and use Control Plus to make it bigger again. But there it is in Google Chrome, looking good. The only thing is it's kind of pushed right over to the left of the page. All right, but we're going to fix that up in the next step, in step 5. But also test it in other browsers you might have on your device, like Microsoft Edge. Maybe you've got Firefox. If you're on an Apple machine, you've got Safari or Opera. Test in those other ones. It should work in all of them because we're using very standard HTML for this. So let's do a live demo just to show you how the testing works in Dreamweaver. All right, so here we are back in Dreamweaver. Remember, the thing is that we right-click where this Home HTML tab is. Right-click there, then we're going down to Open in Browser, and we'll try out Google Chrome first of all. Save the changes? Yes. Always click yes on Save Changes. All right, so here it is displaying in Google Chrome, but it's a little bit too big. So if we press down, hold down the CTRL key down the bottom left-hand corner and press minus, there we go. And see, if we go too much and it's too small, just hold down CTRL and press the equals key where the plus sign is, all right? And that will make it go bigger again. But that's a good size there. And it's pushed over the left, and we're just gonna make it, put some HTML so it can go in the middle. So we'll do that next of all. All right, so step 5, centering the HTML homepage. All right, to get the page centered, we need to add some code into the HTML's coding in the head section of the code. Now, to be able to view the HTML code, we need to now go into split view. So we were in design view, but we're going to click on split. So it shows us our design up the top and shows us the HTML here down the bottom, all right? So you can also, to see more of the code or more of the design, this boundary line here, if you go to the middle of it, it kind of changes into double lines, almost like a giant equal sign. If you press down your mouse, when you move there and get the double lines, press down your mouse and hold it down and you'll be able to slide that boundary area, okay, so that you can see enough of the code. All right, now we need to make some space to add the extra code. So this is what the code will look like, and there's our title of homepage, all right? So right at the end of that line, line number 5, go to the end and press the Enter key on your keyboard 6 times, because we want 6 blank lines. So we're just going to the end of that, and in this space, we're making 6 blank lines, and that's where we're going to type in our centering code next. Now, the centering code you need is this. It's a little involved: style type, text, CSS, body, and all this stuff. And it has to be typed in exactly like it is there with these open curly brackets, okay, which are on your keyboard if you use the Shift key, and everything kind of exactly the same like this. Now, if you get it right, you'll see it go the right sort of colors. That'll have keywords in my browser, in my Dreamweaver, it's in purple. These will be in orange, and it's going to look okay, all right? So we need to carefully put in those 6 lines there, and then we'll be ready to test that the page centers okay in web browsers. All right, so that'll just be a matter of right-clicking on there, open in browser, Google Chrome. We better try Microsoft Edge next time too. We forgot to do that in the live demo. And you should see that your page has moved across now and it's in the center of the browser. So it looks really nice and neat, all right, just by adding that little extra bit of HTML code in. So let's do a live demo of that now. Okay, so here we are in Dreamweaver. So we're changing it to split mode. Now, if you move here, hopefully I can zoom in and show that to you. Finger off the mouse button. Soon we get those double lines. Push down and you can move this boundary, okay? But you have to mouse over till you get the double lines and tiny little arrows. And so let's just do that. Now remember, at the end of line 5, where it's finished doing the title, we need to press the Enter key 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, all right? Then you're going to be carefully typing in those lines of code. Now, through the magic of technology, I've just copied and pasted mine in because I did them before, just to save time. So, got to get on with this video. All right, so you're just typing in like the less than sign here, which is shift above your period or full stop key. No, sorry, above the comma key. So we got less than, then you type in, right, style. And then you have to put type equals, put quotes, text, /, which is above the enter key, CSS. So we're doing some cascading style sheet work, CSS, and then close the quote, and then you need a greater than on the end of that. So that's shift, and above the full stop on your keyboard, there's a greater than sign. So that's saying where we're starting this style paragraph here that's going to do styling. And then you do body, and this little curly bracket, you have to get by doing shift on your square bracket and open it up. Now it's given me 2 of those there because it's setting up for me now to type within them. It's trying to help me out so that I don't forget to put on the ending one. All right, so you'll be typing all this inside the square brackets carefully, and the bracket will keep moving, the curly bracket, sorry. Then when we finish that was where style starts. You need to have this less than sign, then a / sign, style, greater than sign to finish it off. So everything needs to be exactly like that. And if it is, it should go these colors. And now if we test it, if we right click and go open in browser, and let's try it out in Google Chrome, save the changes, yes. You can see now it's all nicely centered in the browser, all right? That's how it used to be. And now it's all centered in the page and looks really good. Now let's just go back to Dreamweaver and right click, and this time we'll open browser, and let's try it out in Microsoft Edge. So in Microsoft Edge, again, it's a little bit too big, so hold down CTRL and press the minus key. But you see, it's exactly the same as Google Chrome. It's nicely centered there in the middle. So that's all good, and we've finished doing that. Okay, we're on to step 6, the final step. So have a break now. Get all that stuff done to have your home page made and the HTML code in there to have it centered. And then you can come back to the video in the timeline index and get up to step 6 where we are right here, where we're going to clone and make the other web pages. All right, making the home page was the hardest thing. These other 5 pages we can do just by cloning, and how the cloning's going to work for these other 5 page designs we've got to make HTMLs for them is we just do file save as on the home page that we've got there already, and then just do some simple HTML code editing. All right, so if you don't have the home page still open, if you've closed it or you're coming back into Dreamweaver, in your files panel in that top right hand corner, just double clicking on the home HTML should load your page up. Now we need to be in split view while we're doing this so that we can see the code. So up the top, make sure you clicked on split so that we can see a mixture of design and code while we're doing this. Now, we've got a home page there. We go file save as, but we change the name. So this one's about HTML. So there's our home page. Yours might have a Google Chrome indicator here. Ours has an Edge one. But you need to change it to about.html. So very carefully, just change it to about and click save. And then we've got our about page. Now the save as should have created a new HTML page. So here it is here. We've got our old home one, but because we did file save as, we've got the about one here as well. Now in your files panel, you might have to click that circle arrow here just to get it to refresh so you can see that about HTML present there in your website. And all we have to do is carefully change some things. So where it's got title home here, you just need to carefully edit that and change it to about. And where it's got the home page JPEG as the inserted image on our page, we want to have about this time. So make sure it says now about page JPEG, all right, instead. When you've finished, it should look exactly like this. This is changed to about. This is now about page JPEG. These are the ones, JPG, these are the ones from the lesson downloads, all right? And now you can refresh now. You won't see in the design up the top that it changes to the About page. It might still be showing the homepage design. So you go View and Refresh Design View. All right, and then it should show the About page here up the top half of Dreamweaver if you click into design mode. All right, and maybe have to do Control- to make it a little bit bigger. Now all we need to do is test this page in the web browser. So again, it's just the usual right click, open in browser, Google Chrome, just say save when it asks you to save. And you should see your About page now with an About on the tab here, open up in Google Chrome, all right? And we've got the About page. So let's do a live demo and show you how to do that. All right, so here we are. We've got our home page. See, it's saying Home HTML. We just go File, Save As, and we're going to carefully change that home here, that we're going to save it this time. It's going to be called About, A-B-O-U-T .html, and click the Save button. Now, we have not seen in the right-hand corner here in our Files panel, you need to click that round circle and it will refresh and show that we do have an About page in our system now, in our website in Dreamweaver. And you can see that's the home one back here. This is the About one over here. So make sure you clicked on the About tab. Now, the things to change, only two of them. Go to line 5, carefully change Home to About. All right, and go down to where the IMG, where we inserted an image on the page. See how it's got homepage JPEG? We need to change that to About. Now, if things are working properly in Dreamweaver, it knows about your page images folder and it says, hey, do you want the About page? All I've done is type the letter A, and that's the one we want. So just double click on that and it'll put About page JPEG in there for you. And that's all there is to it. Now right click on this guy on the About tab, go open in browser, Google Chrome. Do you want to save the changes? Yes, we do. And here it is in Google Chrome, all right? And it's showing up as the About page. So we've got our home page back here centered. And now just with a couple of quick HTML changes, we've got our About page as well. Now, in Dreamweaver, if this didn't refresh up the top, remember you just have to go View and Refresh Design View if that wasn't showing up the top as the About page. But the About page is there, and what we can do now is we can make all of the other pages as well. All right, so we got the Booking, Contact, Gallery, Menu Specials V2 was the name of it in the downloads. And we can make web pages for all of them as well. And in the next lesson, I'm going to learn how to link these together using Dreamweaver hotspots. But for this lesson, we're just making the HTML pages. So let's just jump across into Dreamweaver again and quickly do that to help you out. So I've got my About page made. My home page there, I'm finished with that. So I can actually hit the X here. On that tab in the left-hand corner, just hit the X to close that down. Now, on my About one, I'm just going to go File, Save As, and let's say I'm going to make the menu page now. So I just type MENU, this is going to be Menu HTML, and save it. Now, it hasn't come up in my Files panel, but if I click that round circle, it will. And up the top tab here in the left, I can see menu.html. So I'm just going to go into the code. I'm in, rather than being design view, I'm in split view here, up the top, split view. And remember, it's just line 5 you're changing. So this one is the menu page. All right. And down here, we need the menu image. So if I just take out About and start typing MEN, see how Dreamweaver is suggesting Menu Specials V2 is the one I want. So if I click on that, see, it's going to put in that name, Menu Specials V2 JPEG for me. And if you mouse over it and hold, it's even going to show you a preview of the page, which is really cool. This AI now that they're building into the latest releases of software is fantastic and makes life so much easier and so easy to get things correct. All right, which is what I want to do. Now that's the menu page. Let's just open in browser, and for something different, let's do Microsoft Edge. Save the changes, yes. We go into Edge and it's a little bit big, so we can just go Control-. And there's our menu page with the table of this week's specials. There's a separate lesson on making that table, which you may not have done yet. So if you don't have that on your menu page, just use this menu JPEG from the downloads, and there will be another lesson you can look at for making tables for your web page. And so there's the home one, and here's our menu one, and everything is going really well. So look, you can just do file save as, make your booking your contact. All you have to do is change line 5 to have it say the right thing. And also change where the image is, and Dreamweaver's AI should help you out with that when you do it. Now, just one other thing, if you're doing web pages with scrolling websites, what if your pages were different sizes? Like this is a square page and this is a big long rectangular page. When you are in normal Windows Explorer and just move the mouse over it, it'll show you how big the page is. Or if you do right click in properties and go in the details, you can find out how big in pixels a page is. So what you might need to do is actually edit. You know how we were just changing the name of the page here when we did cloning. So say if you'd made this game a lookout homepage first, and then you're doing file save as and saved it as the about. When you typed about in here, you'd also need to change the width and height to match what they are here. 1080 would need to go in as the width and 1920 would need to go in as the height, okay? So just be aware of that if you've got different size web pages, because maybe you're making a long scrolling website. So the challenge task, now that you've got all these skills and know how to turn your Photoshop JPEG designs into HTML code that'll actually run in a browser, you can either do the Photos by Passy one, get these JPEGs from the downloads for this lesson, which you can find in the video description, or do the Los Ranchos, our little 3-page Mexican restaurant website, or maybe do both. Okay, just make sure you save all the work that you've done, because you're going to need it in the next lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to add on to what we've done here and actually link the pages together. So when you click on the meals page here, it's actually going to jump down and show you the meals page. And then when you click on home, it's actually going to go back and show the home page. So it's going to get linked together and all finished off, but that's in the next lesson. So hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Give it a big thumbs up like, because I'm sure you're having lots of fun doing Passy's World of ICT. Fun things on computers we all can do. That's our motto. So like this video, and remember, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next lesson.